Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. There's one part that I didn't mention, mainly because of the fact that it's kind of like a sensitive issue. But from what I know, from what I experienced in flashbacks, and what I experienced from, I guess, my encounters, if you want to call it that, and information that I got from all these books that I read throughout my years, throughout the years, I mean, and certain documentaries and things like that. I had to really look at the more fringe type of information in order to make sense of why things are done the way they're done. When it comes to ritual abuse, when it comes to ritual sacrifice, I spent most of my years trying to find out as much as I can about it, and for the most part, I excuse me. For the most part, I have really found not that much that I wanted to know. Most of the things were like usually folklore, and the more serious things were not really that helpful. I actually had to find out from a certain relative, and the thing that was really really disturbing was how much sense it made to me, because I could actually go as far as to say that it makes sense that I was actually it's kind of hard for me to say it, but that's just how it is. But to get to the point, how these ritual sacrifices actually work, based on what I believe from everything that's happened to me, from things that happened to certain family members that I know, and from a lot of the information that I got, and certain sources that I got from. I noticed that when, especially from my case, when people are actually killed, especially children and stuff like that, which is something that's I don't really like to talk about, but it's really it's really disturbing. It's very important for the person who's doing it, or the people involved that are doing it, to terrorize that person as much as possible, because it emits out a great deal of negative energy, and that's what gives them the power. Because when they say when people say about satanic rituals, or so-called the so-called devil worship and ritual abuse and all this, and ritual sacrifices, I mean, and all that, the reason why they kill their victims very slowly, and they because they need them to suffer, and the more they suffer, the more negative energy comes out, and they pretty much feed off of it. Now that's something that most people already know, but I was kind of wondering, what is it about? Why does it give them power? That's what I understand. And the misconception of that is, they think that Satan or whatever is going to grant them more power from these people that they actually kill in ritual. But that's not how it works. The way it works is when they terrorize the person, the heart starts pumping very quickly, and then when they feed off the terrorized blood, like when they stab them or all these kind of horrific things, and they drink the victim's blood, especially children. There's a great deal of human DNA, and that's what gives them that rush, that high. It's like a drug. And then when once they, because this is more like a scientific point of view, or more like paranormal science, and this is the reason why I favor science so much, especially from the paranormal side of it. They drink the terrorized blood because of the DNA and the negative energy and all that. It's all in the blood. And when they drink the blood, what it does, it rushes up to the brain because it's like someone almost like it's kind of like an adrenaline rush, and then it goes up to the brain and it activates the pineal gland or the third eye chakra. It activates it, and then once it's activated, it becomes very powerful, and that's how certain powers that they actually use, whether it's like simple things like telekinesis, moving objects by thought, or in some cases, depending on what level or how deep you're into it, to do other type of supernatural or paranormal abilities. So it rushes to the brain and it activates that part of the brain. So it's more like a high, a drug, in order to give them that type of rush, in order to activate that part of the brain, and then it grabs some, it gives them power. It's like turning on a switch, a light bulb in the head, in the brain. But then after a while, they need to do it more and more often because it's kind of like a battery in a sense. I guess that's the best way to describe it. I don't know. And then they need to do it again. That's the reason why they keep killing people and drinking their blood. That's the reason why they do it. And of course, there's other people in other Masonic orders that they, when they rape their victims and stuff like that, there's a lot of bullshit that goes around that really pisses me off. But there's a lot of stuff, even some things that I remember in flashbacks that I've seen. I'm pretty much over it now for the most part. It doesn't really bother me as much, but it's not something that I want to think about or even have dreams about again, you know. But it's all pretty much the same thing. The reason why they mainly do it is because it's not that they're trying to. Well, of course, in their mind they're trying to appease, or trying to honor uh, their so-called demon or their entity, or this type of dark god, or whatever it is that they're worshiping. And but the thing about it is, the secret is they're actually to drink the terrorized blood in order to pump up, the adrenaline, and it goes up to the brain, and then for a long period of time, it temporarily activates the pineal gland, and then whatever powers that they wish to have at that moment, or I don't know how long it will last. whether it's weeks or whatever. I don't know. That I'm not really quite sure of. But they do that, and then they grant the power of whatever they need. So that's why terrorizing their victims is very important. That's why making them suffer and die very slowly, especially babies, which is a very fucked up thing. Especially that when they do that, it terrorizes the blood, and it's like a drug kind of thing. And that's what I know and what I suspect. Of course, I'm gonna have to fart. I'm gonna do like as far as say that that's what I honestly believe. It's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying that this is true, and that's that kind of thing. I don't believe in absolutes. I mean, anybody's entitled to their own opinion about what they think. So as far as saying what's true and what's not, this is what I honestly believe is true. Now, as far as anything else that they do to them, which I don't want to get into. I mean, I heard stories about certain cults or certain whatever that they eat the victim's flesh, or they do something with the organs, and something about the DNA. And I don't know. I'm not really. I don't really research anything that much on that kind of thing, and what that has to do with how important that is. I mean, I know something about it, yeah, and I just don't want to talk about it at all. What really bothers me a lot is how deeply these people were, these people that I know, whatever. And of course, these are memories that I had as a kid. It's not something that I can prove. It's just, it's just going to be considered folklore. Especially when enough time passes, it's considered folklore. So that's how it works. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And this is Dare to Speak. And to all of you, take care.